So I've gotten so many comments about how I'm always looking to the side, like at the display, and I'm never looking into the camera lens, so we're gonna work on that today. It's kind of weird looking, you know, right into the lens like Hiller, but sorry about that. Hey guys, it's Lauren. So if you're new to my channel, besides posting After Effects tutorials here on YouTube, I also have an Instagram video editing page where I, of course, post my edits, and I've had it for a little bit over 3 years now, and since then I've acquired over 74,000 followers, which right off the bat I'm super grateful for that, so I just want to express my gratitude. But since starting my page, I've learned a ton of tips and tricks on kind of how to pitch yourself and grow your account, and I think sharing my tips will be very helpful because for me, I was just like a super like average person starting an Instagram account. Like I had fan pages in the past when I was like 8, and I had never gotten anything more than like 5,000 followers, but this page kind of just blew up, and this wasn't like a premeditated thing where I was like, okay, I'm gonna do X, Y, and Z and boom, I'm gonna blow up. And also I think I have a lot of tips that aren't typically spoken about. They may be kind of unconventional or seem counterintuitive, but I just want to make it clear that these are just the things that happen to work for me and stuff that I've seen happen through my own account. So maybe this just completely doesn't work for you, but I'm just sharing my personal experience that I think could help you guys. So when starting my account, the first thing I realized was that a lot of things that I thought mattered didn't matter at all. So in my fan pages in the past, I was really concerned about the aesthetic of my account, about having a theme, about having this really cute, you know, tight-knit bio, or having color coordinated highlights. And right off the bat, none of that matters. This is a screenshot of my account when I first started off. It's a complete mess. And since then, I have literally never organized my account any better. I don't have a theme. My highlights are just black photos with white text. I don't remember the last time I changed my bio, but still here I am with over 70K. This is because no one's going to follow you just because your account looks pretty. And this kind of segues into my next point, that your content is literally everything. Like, it sounds straightforward, but I think a lot of people kind of forget about that aspect of it, that people ultimately are going to follow you because of your content. So I would say when starting out an account, do not focus on any of the aesthetic aspects. If you don't have a theme, like, okay. Not having a theme is not going to be the fine line between people who follow you and people who don't. So my next point, as I mentioned before, content. One thing you definitely need to remember is quality over quantity. I am telling you this because it is so important. As long as every single edit you're producing is your absolute best, you should not worry about posting multiple times a week. Sometimes I post once a week, once every 2 weeks, but everything that I'm putting out is my absolute best work, and people see that. If you're making edits every single day just for the sake of posting and you know it's not your best work, you're not going to grow your account because people can tell that you're scrambling with an edit and not putting in full effort. And you know, it still is important to be active. Like, if you're only posting once a year, you can't really expect to blow up, but you need to prioritize the quality of your content again over the quantity of your content. So the next tip regarding content is the uniqueness of your content. So just for some context, I literally only edit 4 things on my account. I edit Bughead, which is a ship, Sprouse Heart, which is the same ship, but it's like real life instead of fictional, and then I edit the 2 people within that ship individually. So you may be wondering, how did you get 74,000 followers by editing the same thing over and over? And you know what? I ask myself that question every single day, but I've come to a realization now. And even though I can self-deprecate and go on and on about how my edits aren't that good and there are other people out there who are better than me, I think I have to give myself the credits because I may edit the same 4 things, but I make sure that each one of my edits is unique in the sense that it has never been done before. So in my context, I'm editing a TV show. So typically I'll do these alternate universe or AU edits, where I take the scenes from the show and I manipulate them to create a different storyline. Each one of my AU edits is a concept that has never been done before. So I agree, it can be super tiring if you're following an edit account and they're editing the same show over and over and it's just the same clips, just different songs in the backgrounds, same transitions. That can get super boring. But when you take different concepts, different ideas that you've never seen executed before, that makes it really interesting. So besides making those AU edits, another thing that I do to make my account unique is use kind of old songs for my audios, or just audios that are really never used. I can count on one hand how many times I've used an audio from an audio account or from another editing account. And there's nothing wrong with using audios from audio accounts or other accounts. If you really like the song, then go for it. But I think using songs that aren't commonly used in edits draws more attention to your edits. So my kind of thing is a lot of the times I'll use songs from Disney Channel shows and movies. And that's because I really do like these songs. They bring me a lot of nostalgia and I listen to them in my free time. That definitely engages the viewer because they're like, oh, I know this song, like the nostalgia, I want to finish watching this edit. And it kind of hooks them in more than a random edit audio that's been used 5,000 times would. And I think people really underestimate how important the audio you use is. You have to use that as one of your pull factors. Something that makes people think, oh, I haven't heard this in a while, or oh, I used to love this song, or even, wow, this really matches this edit perfectly, which is kind of a different point that I want to bring up. Another way to make your edits unique is making the concept of the edit match perfectly with the song. And this is something that I do with every single one of my edits, because for me, taking random clips and a random song and putting them together doesn't really make for a cohesive or unique edit. Another thing that can make your edits unique is having a specific editing style. So your editing style is basically the typical transitions that you use in your edits and the typical way you put these transitions together and just compose your edit. And a lot of people have asked me, Lauren, how have you developed your style? Because I think 3 years into the game, I've developed a style that's kind of unique to me. And honestly, developing your style just takes time. Over time, you'll just subconsciously start doing certain transitions and transition combinations. Like for me, I didn't even realize I had a style until people were commenting, oh my god, I love your style. And at that point, I was like, what style? Like, I don't really think I have a style. But trust me, people will tell when you have a style before you do. And I think in developing your style, you have to watch other people's edits and see the things that you like. As you can probably guess, I've watched so many edits in my lifetime, and there have been multiple instances where I've seen stuff in edits and been like, wow, I really like that. Let me incorporate that into my own edit, but in my own unique way. So having this recognizable editing style is super important. And to kind of sum my point all up, all of the type of Instagram editing that has become popularized mainly among teens is basically just taking clips and adding transitions to hit the beats of a song. You can't really take it at face value like that. In my context, thousands and thousands of teenagers have made bughead edits just like me. So now I have to think, how am I going to make my edit different from the thousands of edits that have already been made with this pairing? Definitely take inspiration from what's already been done and embed parts of it into your edits, but you definitely need to bring something new to the table. Something that you haven't seen done before, whether it's a type of transition or a type of storyline, because if someone already follows 100 Riverdale editors and you're just another Riverdale editor who's producing the same content, they'll have no reason to follow you. So now I want to talk about the Instagram algorithm. Now I wish I could just tell you, do X, Y, and Z and boom, you'll blow up. But unfortunately there are factors that we cannot control. And one of these is Instagram's algorithm. So I think in 2018, I was gaining a lot. I think by 2018, I had nearly 50K, and 2 years later, I have 70K. So the ratio of how much I gained in 2018 to how much I've gained throughout the last 2 years doesn't exactly match up. And also I have 70K and I kind of struggled to get 40K views. That's beside the point. It doesn't really bother me. I still get a lot of nice comments, so that's all that really matters. But regardless of how many hashtags you use or how many people repost your edit to their story, the ultimate factor in deciding whether your edit will go big or kind of just flop will be if Instagram decides to put it onto the explore page. When I had 30K followers, I was pulling like 500,000 views. In fact, when I only had 11.6K followers, I woke up overnight with 300,000 views on this edit, and it eventually got to 1 million views. Now, I can never imagine something like that happening because I'm really never on the explore page. This is the edit that got 1 million views, and I think, again, it's because of the concept. I hadn't seen anyone do this before in this kind of way, and it was just different. It was different from the other stuff that people were seeing. So if your edit isn't getting the views that you want, do not beat yourself up over it. It's probably just because Instagram isn't putting it on the explore page. And that's something that you cannot control. Now this video. This is a prime example of the whole explore page thing. This got on the explore page, got 8 million views, and gained me 13,000 followers just for a video that I didn't even edit because the explore page ate that up like a warm dinner. But there's one thing that you can control. So to make people click on the edit when it's on the explore page, you have to have a really captivating thumbnail. For this, I recommend a nice sharp coloring, something like this, and do not have a blurry thumbnail. So something like this probably wouldn't make the best thumbnail. Also, and this is something so important, and it's something that I've learned as someone who actually watches edits, not just as an editor myself, a lot of edits have these super ridiculously long intros, and it's just like up to 15 seconds of a black screen. And I'm telling you right now, if you have 15 seconds of a black screen, or even just 15 seconds of different group logos, or 15 seconds of your watermark, people will swipe away so fast. If it's 15 seconds of a black screen, I don't have the attention span to watch that. Like, you have to understand, a lot of people watching these edits are, again, teenagers, and their attention spans are not super long. So really, you have to hook them in right away. And I recommend just cutting off the part of the audio that you're not using. Have the edit start right away. So kind of going on with the explore page thing, another thing that's super important is the time you post. Because the time you post can increase your chances of actually getting onto the explore page. So you should go into your Instagram Instagram Insights and look at the time where most of your followers are active, because that's your peak posting time. Like for me, even though in 2018 I was getting like 200,000 views on my edits, if I ever posted on a Sunday, I would get like 5 views. Like it didn't matter if I had 30, 40,000 followers, I would never get views on a Sunday. And like now I'm kind of established as an editor, so I don't really care about posting on a Sunday. But if you're really trying to just grow your account, just avoid posting on the days that your audience isn't super active. And the last thing I want to talk about is kind of immersing yourself into whatever editing community you're in and groups and all that stuff. So I think it's great to make friends in whatever fandom you're in. It can really make it a lot more fun. But being in groups and all those editing group chats and societies and everything is another thing that I thought would matter so much. But for me, it really didn't matter at all. I think I've been in only 3 to 4 groups the entire time I've been an editor, and this was right when I started off. I was never active in the group chats. I don't think I ever said a word, but I really just put the logos at the beginning of my edits and called it a day. And it did absolutely nothing for me. It was just like, okay, there's the logo. It again wasn't the make or break factor between the edit blowing up or the edit flopping. So don't worry if you're not in all these really prestigious editing groups or societies. What's more important is just to make friends naturally. Comment on edits that you think are really good instead of just liking them, because you're not only giving a compliment to someone who may really need it, but it also shows the kind of person that you are. It shows that just beyond editing on your account, you're supportive of other editors, and that will definitely make people want to click on your account. But also, please don't be inauthentic with this. Don't go commenting on every single edit you see under the sun, spamming the comments just because you want followers. Really, just if you see a good edit that you like, leave a nice comment. And so when you have these friends in the editing communities, they can of course repost your edits on their stories and give them more attention. But that's definitely not the most important thing. My friends in the editing community are the ones that give me inspo like 24/7. Like they're the ones constantly hyping me up, telling me that something looks good even though it may not, and just motivating me to continue editing. And my followers of course do this too. But if you're just starting out and you don't really have an audience, having editor friends can really help boost your self-esteem as an editor who's just starting out. So those are basically all the tips that I have. Again, this definitely worked for me, but it may not work for everyone else. And even if your talent isn't properly acknowledged on Instagram, or you can't build up your account to where you want it to be, that is not because your edits are bad or because you did something wrong. I think now in 2020 with Instagram's algorithm, it is super hard, but I want to just encourage you to keep doing what you're doing, even if you're not getting the results right away. And I wish you all the best. I hope this video could help some of you guys. Bye!